One second, one second. I gotta find something. Playlist. Where is it at? There it is. All right. I had to make sure I shared that right. Last time it didn't go out so well. Might as well clean this up while we're down here. Remove that. Keep that. Keep all that. Wow, that's impressive. I just noticed how that hit. The only level we had really up above here, above 576.41, was 583, and that's where not only pre-market high, but today's highs are basically going to be stuck under. That is very interesting. Yeah, that's what I was going over. I was going over SPY. We need to fix this chart too, actually. Actually, I don't need to fix any of the short-term levels, even though it's kind of hard to look at on the bigger. But we do need to add that. The open of that green candle, because it's the supply of the all-time high. And then kind of looking right here at that left part here, kind of marking the meat of that lower high. The meat of that lower high. And then we're kind of grabbing the high of this move to the low of the first green candle. And then we're marking the 50%. 518.87. Wait. Yeah. 518.87. That didn't look right at first. Delete that. And now we have some more of the major levels. You could even cheat if you don't like the spacing between 520s and 540 basically. You could basically add a 50% there, but we probably will include just the candles here for smaller time frame trading right here. Just add that day's open and that high, that halfway point, and then this day's halfway point. And you basically have everything you need because it should line up like that and then maybe like that. So on smaller time frames, it'll be spaced out like you need. But for bigger time frame, you can kind of just keep it clean if you want. But this should be the key levels for, I was about to say SPY, for triple Q moving forward. I'm just screenshotting them and posting as I'm going. I'm gonna redo IWM as well. Lord knows she needs it. This is what she looked like before. Oh wait, we don't have to delete anything. I was about to delete things we don't need to. Now this chart, it's so easy to go from SPY to triple Q. And as I've explained, yeah, they're completely different charts, markets, ETFs, all that good stuff. But the charts are basically the exact same thing a lot of the time. It's like almost like a template. Yes, the numbers will be different, but they'll be shaped a little different too. Like this one's above this recent high. See how that looks? Just a small gapped up body, nothing crazy. And we're under that most recent green candle's kind of meat of it, the close of that day. And then above that, we have the lower high of the move down, and then we have the all-time high. You go to triple Q, it's the exact same thing, a little bit different looking. Might even be just kind of like slightly altered, like somebody took their hand and like just slightly moved the chart diagonally a little bit. But in reality, it's the same exact chart. The only difference is this is above the past lower high, just under the middle of the move down here, and then there's the all-time high. So they're almost like another level up. Almost it feels like. So that's interesting, and you could almost take away from that and be like, oh well, tech probably helped the market, and yeah, I mean I think a lot of things did, but in certain cases you'll see that will be able to help you when you can actually break down the difference between why is it different from the other chart. But then you go to IWM and it's like, whoa, you can easily make that distinction there. It is completely different. Small caps are definitely behind because they're rejecting the lower high. They're not above it. SPY and triple Q, they're like this. They're above this lower high. In triple Q, they're above this even. Their candles like this. So triple Q, SPY, IWM. You can see the clear difference in today just based on positioning, not really price action or anything like that. It's just kind of based on how did price reject, how did price hold above. So in SPY and tech's case, we're kind of looking to see if we do go down more, do we hold this high? Do we break down into the open of that green candle and then give us that drop? Because this one's actually trying to do that. So that'll be interesting. This level here will be key, 206.96. This will be key moving forward. So not just for today's direction, but for tomorrow, for the rest of the week, this level is going to be pretty important. But let's add some levels above because we don't have everything this chart needs. But yeah, all-time high also too. Another difference in this chart is like on SPY and triple Q, after they get past this lower high and this high, that's all-time high. But on IWM, that's just one major lower high that they're at. Then there's another high. It's a whole nother chart. But let's get back to business. So we'll mark the meat of that candle. In this instance, we'll just mark the latest high. On the other charts, we have the all-time high marked. So we'll go from the high to the low there, and I want to get the 50% of that marked. Again, on that case, I'm not doing anything crazy there. I'm just adding a fib from the latest high, because I'm past this. We're kind of working upwards now, getting into that first low of the first green candle that appears. You could even make the argument that, oh, well, shouldn't you mark that down here? And yeah, you could, but we already have that marked, so there's no point. But also, I like to just stick to my rule. My rule is always to mark the first green candle's low, so let's stick to our rules. And in some instances like this, you see how I'm typing 219.47? You could just be like, oh, well, fuck it, 219.50. It doesn't need to be exact. You can keep it up to your quarters and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. And then I am going to grab the open of the last green candle here because that is how we like to mark supplies in here. And since this is kind of like the high before they broke down, I want to mark that. So if we do end up breaking back up, is this where we're going? But now I have clear levels just in case IWM does decide to catch up more. And now we know the key level for that. So I'm kind of excited for that chart. I think I'll just post it like this though, because bit of a big move around for today's market. Yo, what's up, Mike? Beautiful gap up. Yeah, pretty huge move. Why doesn't my phone notify my BB out here teaching? Nard, you're not the same person in chat, are you? The one in post charts. Are you the same Nard as that Nard? Because I could have swore I've seen you in my streams like a bunch. But then I saw what you posted in Post Charts channel. It's like, damn it, I don't think this guy's ever joined my streams before. Same Nard? Okay. I wasn't taking any offense. It's just like, you were like, is it okay if I post this? And then you were like, posting pre-market. I'm like, huh? Like, that's basically how a lot of us started, was just marking pre-markets. Like, I'm to the point where I'm not even marking pre-market high and pre-market low. Like, that's just a part of what I look at. If anything, I'm just keeping the clean chart. Like, this should be everyone's, main focus. Even the meat of it, if you're ever like, you see like one like this, for instance, marking like the outsides of it's pretty important. I would definitely say the overnight fib, though, is the most important thing you should have marked. So like on SPY, for instance, let's go to this one so we could just mess up a chart without any risk here. You can mark this two different ways. It's actually really awesome. So you can either mark this from the previous day close up to today's open on the daily, or you can go down to the small time frames and you do the exact same thing. I'm just marking different. It just looks different because I'm marking it on the smaller time frame. I prefer to mark it on smaller time frames so you get that more, direct approach feel, I guess, to it. And then you can mark your pre-market high, mark that 50%. Whoops. And that's about it. Delete that. And yeah. And so just by that, and then of course today's open and the previous day close being the other two pretty damn important levels, you now have the four most important levels in front of you. Pre-market high being one of them, kind of a mixture in with the today's open / today's high so far. So that's nice. This right here could be used as a median if we do fall or we do break like this right here. I don't know if I'd mark this, but I would definitely notify this. But, oh, well, there's a clear area where pre-market kind of shot up and it came back down and it decided to hold, which I wouldn't even pay attention to this candle. But just seeing that right there, I'm not really marking that, but my eyes are definitely locking onto that. Like, okay, let's see in that general vicinity, does it break down under that or does it hold? And you can see actually today that would have definitely been somewhat helpful. And just off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels, super basic, not really any kind of deep thinking behind it. We just marked super important levels without really even trying that hard. So that's also very nice. But yeah, feel free to share any of those charts, dude. Especially if it's pre-market related. I also don't care what indicators people share. Just make sure you're just kind of keeping it about the price action, because, I mean, we can all see the chart. And yeah, and just share whatever you want about it. Don't be shy. I am the only person who will bite. Oh, wait, what's up, Lag? How you doing? Just doing a quick charting sesh, going over a few things. I looked at SPY. We looked at Triple Q. I just went over SPY again, but just kind of going over some super basic stuff. Triple Q, IWM. Kind of just looking around now. What is up, though, Lag? How you doing? Just kind of taking a look around. You know me. I would definitely say there's a few things I've already been... I mean, you guys, if you haven't been here, I understand why you don't know. But there's a lot of different tickers on watch, and I can just spam through them really quickly. Target would be one of them. Nike would be one of them. Of course, those all shot up with the market, but not really shocked. UPS, definitely like these three especially. Wait, I don't know why I'm even speaking them out like that when I have them marked right here. These are all the main tickers that are kind of on watch. Actually, it kind of cuts off at like Bull. The rest of these are ones I'm just kind of interested in, but the main ones are definitely kind of like Bull, Snow, LW, UPS, Nike, Target. UNH I'm just kind of interested in. I talked about last week how, yes, I'm glad we're down here, but that doesn't mean it's time to buy. And I'm glad we took that approach because we did just keep selling. So we'll be paying attention to them around the 380s, the low of the 380s. But they've gone through the first fib extension. They're hitting the second Friday's lows. Today they're pushing through that. You zoom out. This is a pretty big gap extension in my opinion. It's from the latest previous day's close into that next day's open, from the huge gap down of the earnings move. So basically these are just seller targets, And the more you go through, the more it's like, oh shit, when does this stop? The fact we went through one, pretty normal. The fact we're getting to a second, also averagely normal. I don't know if I'd say that's that crazy. Getting down to the third is considered to be a little wild. A lot of the time you do end up getting the first and second. You break it, you retake the second. Now I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here. That's UNH. It could definitely go down to this, and I mean, as we all know, Mary Moore could definitely go down to 300. But well, we're just kind of paying attention. We're just looking at this as a feeler, not really anything. JD, we were bullish on this last week. Pretty damn bullish. I think the only thing I've said about JD is just I like it a lot, except the fact that it has earnings. Because fuck trading earnings. Tesla, we like that a lot. Good looks on anybody paying attention. Boeing as well. Boeing and Tesla were the main two we had covered from the past week. Just kind of going over it day to day, just kind of giving ourselves setups here. And slowly, those two became more and more bullish before that news over this weekend anyway. So it's not like this weekend was the first time you should have became bullish on a couple of these tickers. No, last week was definitely the time to do that. As explained in a lot of the streams we did. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think we did. And yeah, if you guys have anything else to share as well, feel free to let me know. I was just kind of taking this as a quick stream to kind of go through at least the main weights so people could at least have a general idea of what to look for when they step into the chat again. Because I know how some people or most people are, and I feel like I'm the same way. Whenever the market makes these big moves, like you're kind of keeping your eye on the market and what it's doing, but maybe you're not necessarily super engaged, super active with it, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's actually a very mature decision to not sit here and just stare at this stuff all day long. So, if anything, you guys should definitely be using these really big days that happen. Of course, from the catalyst, I would definitely say, especially on like a Monday, following weekend news. This is a great example, of course. It's just a good time to do like some homework or review some stuff, go through some stuff you haven't gone through yet. I was explaining in the Discord, there's that new BB playlist a lot of people haven't gone through yet, so a lot of people could go through that right now, today. Because it is just like, it's almost like 4 hours of stuff, so. But if you're someone who's a little bit more advanced, you're beyond just marking levels, you're to the point where you're definitely trying to trade them a lot more often, I would definitely tune into that playlist and check it out. What's up, Tobias? Yeah, I'm just doing a quick shorting, a short and sweet charting sesh, nothing crazy, and doing a little checkup, see if anybody's on. What are they up to? How are they? Because I'm not going to sit here and stream all day long and trade and actively look at this all day long. That's just not in my repertoire. But I did at least want to get a touch on the market, a vibe of the chat, see what everyone's doing. But it looks like everyone's fine. I don't see... It looks like a lot of you were in calls from last week and then just kind of like chilled in the Discord, so I didn't have to worry at all, it looks like. So that was good. Sometimes I get confused on what emerging candles we mark, but also, well, you just got to remember there's like different charting styles, and you just and that's why I heavily weigh in on that topic in the BB Theory playlist, because I want people to know the difference. Like, someone might look at the charts one day and see me mark all emerging candles and be like, oh, okay, he's back on that. And then one day you might see me mark less levels, and I call that like the naked chart, or the less levels chart. But it's a lot of the time the game plan, the directional, call outs for that day end up the same direction. So it's almost like it doesn't matter which way you're marking it. It's just make sure you have it and you understand what's in front of you, the context, you're comfortable with what levels are in front of you. Because a lot of the time I see some people just kind of throw up a bunch of levels and they're like, all right, I'll be good tomorrow. And then they look at them again, they have no idea what they're looking at. They're like, am I supposed to be bullish in this level or bearish? And it's because they didn't go over the recent, I say recent context. What I mean by that is like the past few days, just kind of reading them. I'm really big on the whole read it like a book kind of thing. Reading it left to right the past couple of days, you'd actually get a really good feel for what the market was most likely trying to do today before it even opened. All the geniuses in my chat already called it too. They're like, yeah, we're going to open up higher, but we're probably not going to do much after that, so probably should just chill. And that's good that you felt that, because that is 100% true. We really shouldn't be moving too much after an open like that. If anything, to the upside, but anything else. It's just, kind of expected. It's a settle type day. It just moved up how much? It's an almost 3% day on SPY. It's pretty crazy. SPY's up, or sorry, Apple's up 5%, Nvidia's up 5%. We got Amazon and Meta up over 7%. Tesla's up almost 7%. 1 second. All right, sorry, I had to check on something. But the next day might be interesting. Exactly. Sorry, that's where I was trying to get to. I'm glad you said that because I might have brain farted. But yeah, some people take that context like, oh, so today's boring. It's gonna suck. I don't get to do anything. It's like, okay, but what does that mean for the rest of the week though? And I'm really glad that Lag already kind of jumped to it and said, but that leaves open more interesting days, And now you have recent context of, oh, well, we just gapped up a shit ton. And yeah, so does everyone else, but I am so serious on this. Like, most people forget things so quickly. Like, they forget that we were just at spots of the chart where we were building higher lows and moving up. Like, last week in the streams, too. And I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm some righteous analyst or anything, but, like, anybody in the chats, too, have been posting this. Like, there's so many good bullish setups that have been popping up. Like, the only thing that was keeping anyone from entering them was just reading social media, reading the news too much. And that's fine. That's to let other people do that. Don't don't get in their way. Just focus on you. Focus on the ones around you. Don't just forget those people. But yeah. But do you guys want any individual tickers charted? I already looked at a ton, to be honest. I've went through a bunch really quickly, but if anybody has any actual requests or anything, please let me know. Feel free to share your own thoughts as well. I've already gone over SPY, Triple Q, IWM. Went over a couple of the weights, just to kind of, glance over them, talk about them for a moment. Talked about other long-term picks. So in the first 20 minutes of the stream, you can get a lot of what you need here. But now if anybody has anything, we can just kind of go off on our own tangent. Do you chart Bitcoin? I'll show you my Bitcoin chart. I kind of do what I do with my SPY charts right now. You'll see me do this a lot. Like, how you were just commenting on me marking like recent levels instead of my emerging candles like I usually would. It's because of the chaos in the market. Like, I want less information so I can focus on the content or the context of it more. Because like right here on Bitcoin, a lot of people are going to have all this random stuff marked. Hold up. I'll just do a random chart. So a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, oh, that's bearish. Like, instantly off the rip, they're going to be like, yeah, that's bearish. And directionally, they're right. That is. Because you have directional lower highs here. And this is somewhat not helpful to over here. Let's see, actually. I want to see just of this high to this low, like of everything, where is this at? And it's not actually that bad looking. 92,403. What I was going to say, though, is you don't have, like, much context here, much direction. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of green candles. We're up. We're hitting lower highs. That it's okay for Bitcoin to slow down. Because, plus, this is probably not as much as Bitcoin selling as it is people moving money over to the equity markets, like SPY, Triple Q, IWM, any individual equities like this. It makes sense that money from here would go to here. So that's probably not so bad. I sounded Italian there for a second. That didn't sound so bad there for Bitcoin. It's more or less just the market. So I don't know if I could fault them. Plus, that's really not that bad. They're really not down that much. But what I was going to say, though, is without direction, you're pretty much screwed. So what do we have here? Based on our charting, we've been going over this just here and there. I'm not looking at this day to day. But from the recent high to the recent low, they had their settling period finally. They didn't push lower and hit any fib extensions. They didn't even bother with that. They hit a low, 90% entry, liquidity grab, whatever you want to call it. Good higher low, ended up breaking up. So this is your first impulse move. They actually get a good close over the impulse move on this day. And pretty much since this day, it's been home free. And even before then, you could argue that. But this definitely opened up the chart more. You had a bunch of kind of days, and this is probably a lot of people switching back and forth, some taking profits, some getting into new positions, some thinking that they're going to call the top on this chart, and then it continued on. Where did it continue on from? Those highs. So what are we stuck between right now on Bitcoin? All-time high and the recent lower high. So this is really the chart. It's not all that other crap. I mean, yeah, there is nice context here of like, okay, we just came up. But now we know, okay, if we do go down under this level, where should we go? Here. If we continue on past this one, where should we go? Here. So pretty clear distinctions on the chart. And even if we go to here, still not past all-time high. Even if we go down to here, still not past that lower high. Still inside of that range. So anything outside of that, definitely going to be a little juicy to catch. Anything inside of this, definitely going to be a little bit more obvious in my opinion. To people like you and me who have these levels marked. I say obvious, I'm talking about you and me. I don't know what everyone can see. Everyone sees a big green candle and a red candle following it. That's all I could take away from that from other people. But you and me, what do we see? We see the range. We see what other inside of the range levels there. So I know this may be personal, but other than Bitcoin, are there any other cryptocurrencies you look at? And that's not personal. I don't even, and if everybody in my chat who knows me knows I don't even trade cryptocurrency. So you can ask me whatever. I'm only somewhat knowledgeable because of people I have followed in the past, but I wouldn't sit here and be like, yeah, man, I'm a fucking crypto expert. No, I don't know. I don't know shit. I know as much as most. But I just like looking at Bitcoin because it's a market. I don't when people look at Bitcoin they think like, oh, it's gonna replace everything. No, it's not. It's just another market. When people move their money out of the equity market, aka SPY, IWM, Triple Q, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, all these popular companies you see on the left side of the screen, whenever they move their money, where do they jump it to? Do they just throw it into their pockets, into their banks? No. Where do they put it? They put it in Bitcoin, they put it in treasuries, they put it in commodities, they put it in all kinds of different markets. There's all kinds of markets around us. Commodities like, corn, beans, soy, all that good stuff. Bitcoin's just another market for people to throw money into. Actually, it was kind of fun to watch this chart because during a lot of the biggest drops on SPY, this would follow occasionally and eventually, but the initial spikes would spike up as if they were a staple, as almost as if they were a safe haven. Also, the money supply is crazy. It's been kind of floating around a lot more recently, but for a while this has been true, and it's kind of blown my mind a lot. There's a money supply chart. We could see like money rotation around the world, and the Bitcoin chart literally follows that chart, and it's just wild. So I personally don't really care. I'd rather people look at like Coinbase or just things that actually are going to be taking advantage of it inside the market. If you are into cryptocurrencies, though, I'm sure there's all kinds of coins that are doing great or looking great or have good uses. I've always heard, though, that you should just focus on like Bitcoin and Ethereum, though. I've never heard anyone knowledgeable say anything outside of that. Everyone will tell you Doge this or Shiba Inu this or buy my fart coin, but I really don't see the point in exposing yourself to all these other ones when you should just focus on the ones you actually are knowledgeable of. Don't just buy coins because you see people hyping it up. Yeah, M2. Thank you, Mike. The M2 money supply. This crypto dude I follow makes a living of Bitcoin, so I jump back and forth from you both. That's funny. Oh, I got you, Nard. Thank you. you were taking some cautious steps, I see. Yeah, you're good. No, I won't bite anyone's head off. I just hate when people come in here and they're like promoting it. They're like, guys, did y'all see blank 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 coin? It's like, no, bro, we've never heard of that. Like, we know Bitcoin. That's about it. Anybody focus on anything else? That's cool. It's not what we focus on here. I like him because the tips are exactly like you are. Risk management, be smart. I just want people to think logically. Like, I'm not even going to throw all these fancy terms on things and be like, yeah, guys, make sure your risk management's doing great or your risk reward makes sense or blah, blah, blah. Like, I just think a lot of people should think logically. I don't like, especially people in our chat, like, you've gotten to the point where you're marking things, you understand all these different indicators, you understand all these different tendencies in the market, the different news that comes out, the memes, if Trump tweets, we're going to do something, just all that stuff. Like, that's all very important, technically. But it's just good because now you have, like, context of, like, how the market works. And you could be a little bit more comfortable. You could be yourself a little bit more. You could try to trust what you're looking at a little bit more. It's pretty insane when someone marks all this stuff on their screen and then you see them have a hard time taking a trade. It's like, yeah, because you don't have an actual setup. You don't have an actual, like, hey, if this happens, I'm going to do this. Like in our system, for example, being directionally above today's open or below today's open gives you that extra bias, right? So let's say I already have a reason to be, excuse me. Let's say I already have a reason to be bullish, right? And this is a horrible example because we didn't do anything above today's open, but let's just say for example's sake, we did just settle to the right, and then eventually you made higher lows over it. Now you don't just have that context of like, oh, well, we were bullish here. It's like, no, now we're also bullish here. So now you have two parts of the story trying to tell you, hey, we're trying to go up, asshole. Pay attention. Also, other context. Like, I think most people in my chat did a really freaking great job of this today, so I'm very proud of them. But instantly seeing how much we gapped up and being like, you know what? I'm good. Maybe they'll keep their eye on how much everything is up and down, but not actively looking to like risk themselves in this. And I love that because that, in my opinion, is thinking logically. I don't think that's being right or wrong. I just think that's thinking logically. I think there's always a lesser evil or a correct decision in every situation, no matter what. Even if it doesn't seem like it, seems like you're in just the depths of hell. Like, no, there's still a better decision than whatever you're going with. Buy Goon Coin. Yeah, blank coin finna fly. Catalyst. I woke up at 4 and you woke up at 4? Jeez. You saw that gap and you knew it was a day to sleep in. You're like, yep, I'm good. That's what I mean though. Like, I think that's just thinking logically. I hate throwing these like fancy terms and everything. Because I'm not trying to sound smart. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. Like, I think that a lot of people that say that stuff are, it's just like weird. Yeah, man, did you follow your risk management? Like, that's such like a vanilla thing to say to somebody. But I truly see it as thinking logically. But you gotta have things to like help you though, like having the condition set of like, I'm going to be bullish above this or bearish below this, that general opinion. The previous day halfway point, even though it's no help today, let's just say it's right here, that's another directional area. If I'm below this, I'm more bearish. If I'm above it, I'm more bullish. Halfway point of the overnight gap, whatever the hell that is. Right here. You could even include it with your level right here. Then delete it. And be like, all right, that's another area where I could be directionally bullish or bearish at. If I'm above it, I'm going to understand that I'm probably going to hit it with some higher lows first. If I'm below it, I've probably already either rejected it or I'm about to, and we're looking to be more bearish. You have that extra context. But very, very important to have those conditions set. That's all it is, just conditions. It's conditional formatting. And it's funny because this is exactly how algorithm traders trade in a sense. They think it's thinking logically, and it is. But it's a lot more than that. It really is a lot more. It's, if this happens, I'm doing this. If that happens, I'm doing this. And you think like, yeah, well, no shit, that's how thinking works. But people don't do that while trading though. People just, oh, green candle, I'm in. Like, why are you in though? Why are you bullish? I don't know. I feel like it's gonna go up. Why do you feel that? And a lot of the time people can't explain that. And a lot of the time it's exactly what I just explained. It's that logic. It's that sense of, oh well, I saw this, and normally I like to be bullish when I'm above this, and then I saw this, and I like to be bullish when I see that, so I became bullish. And it's like, okay, that's what I meant. Like, why were you bullish? Please explain that. Please explain that context. A lot of people can't break that down or still don't trust the context that they're looking at. Right? Some of us might say, I don't like these lower highs under today's open, or I don't like these lower highs under the pre-market high. I think it is going to teeter off. That would make sense to me when someone says that. Don't even need to explain it. Because you're instantly going off of something. Would be nice to catch a pullback to the control point of the overnight gap, though. My bad. Let me re-add that. I think I was just trying to keep it clean. I'll bring it there for you, though, Gary. I think I just like drawing it because there's so many people in chat who I feel like just don't pay attention. But it's not their fault. There's just so much shit to look at in the market, chat, their lives, I'm sure. But I think the overnight halfway point's there. It's the level. Besides previous day halfway points, today's open, basic pre-market levels, like, you really have just like a few levels that are super, super key and tell you a story. But yeah, it would be nice to get down there. But honestly, I on a day like today, I can see why we don't have to go down to the halfway point. And it's because of how much we started up, right? If we went up 10 feet, does that mean I have to go down 5 to hit the halfway point? Yes, but does that mean I have to go down 5? That's crazy. Like, no. That's a lot of movement we're asking of the chart to start at 582 and drop to 574, is it not? Well, it's actually lower than 574 for the halfway point, but you know what I mean. So actually, like logically speaking, we shouldn't really have to do anything. We shouldn't be making any huge test at the halfway point. We shouldn't be hitting 590 today. You know, like these are a couple things I think we could say logically we should not be doing today. But I think this would be thrown into that folder today. Normally you would hear me say, yes, I think this is a very like vanilla route for the price today to go down and touch this. I actually think it's not that vanilla today. I actually don't think it's that possible. Yes, normally we should go down to the median, what you and me like, this highlighted area. You and me like to look at that, but because of how much we're up, I can't really call for that logically and be like, yeah, we should do that. That's just my opinion. That would have been my only entry, Gary. No entries for me, but if you look at the SPY Futures 4-hour, if we stay above 5,800, I am staying bullish, but in this market, one tweak and change directions. That is true, too. Though it does look like he did a good job with this Besant fella. We'll see, though, because you are right about that. And good looks on the directional, like, post. Eric, like coming up with the good areas in the chart to be like, all right, this is where I'm going to kind of focus on to be bullish, bearish. That's the first thing I did when I opened up the stream. I just looked at SPY, looked at Triple Q, looked at IWM, and I tried to instantly make that distinction. All right, where do I like this? Where do I not like this if it does something? Where do I become more bullish? Where do I start to fear the chart a little bit if it does this? You know, coming up with these different variants of basically just using your levels, using that context from the recent left, not coming up with random thoughts on your own, breaking down what's been shown to us from previously to help us, what might help us up next. We don't know. Of course Netflix is red. Every other stock's laughing at Netflix. You're just like the rest of us now. SPX is starting to pick up. Yeah, I see it here on SPY. I really want you guys to start making that distinction, though. I still am not seeing a lot of you say it, you know. So we have this drop from here, right? We dropped, clearly. So we have this recent low. What is this? It's a decent recovery move, right? So what does price on the right side need to do at any point in the future? And regardless of me calling this an impulse move or not, what does price need to do to give us that, oh, I think it should go to today's open, to give us that thought process? What does it have to do? It has to get over the meat of these highs. Right now it's trying that. But I just want to make sure you understand that. Because this first move up, very important. This is kind of important, but this isn't really that great. It's not until they retake a lost level like this that it becomes, okay, wait, there's a chance here. Then what do they do right here? They fail to make a new low. They come back up. They're closing over. So now you're getting a little bit more to kind of help you out. Failed to make a low. Good recovery over this level now. Instead of just saying green level, green candle over level. Caveman. A day like today, who's watching Netflix? True. I just find it funny because it was like one of the few that really wasn't that affected by tariffs. Now it's just like the rest of everyone. And my bad, we don't need to leave those up. It's a good visual aid to kind of remind yourself what you should be looking at. Because it's so easy to get lost in like, oh, there's a big red candle. Oh, but they retook it here. Oh, but they're going up now. It's so easy to be like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you got to like stack a couple things and then be like, okay, this is why I'm directionally up or down. Or not, you know, maybe you find a reason to not be at all. Me want candle to turn resistance to support for 80% entry. I don't think you're gonna get an actionable setup. Like, you can watch this all you want, but don't sit here and like expect this to give you an entry and a solid move after your entry. Does that make sense? I mean, do whatever you want. I can't control you, but hold up 1 second. My dog's losing their mind. Yeah, something light, just some Chick-fil-A showing up. It's nothing special. It's just Chick-fil-A. Monday with a huge gap up and very little news today. I felt today would just be a range day. Always the bigger news this week. Oh no, yeah, that's what a lot of you should be expecting for today's market. Ranging in the intraday session. In terms of like up here in the highs of its pre-market. Yes, I agree. And there's some pretty big news coming out soon. Eric and myself shared this in the chat already, but there's some pretty big news coming out. Tomorrow. Sorry, I was trying to like finish my statement. CPI numbers come out. The following day, OPEC and crude oil. The following day after that, PPI and core PPI and all that. So a lot of data is coming out this week to show us, does the Fed really have an argument for bringing interest rates down, or do they have to keep them there for a little bit longer? Because a lot of people seem to believe that we are going to be cutting them the very next meeting. But if the data doesn't say so, then we're not going to be. And this will create a narrative where if we are at a part of the chart where we can cut interest rates and the data comes out and it supports that, then the charts will continue to go up. If we have this narrative where we continue up and then we have data that doesn't really support that going into tomorrow and this week, then we probably will have a little bit more struggle outside of like, oh, well, the trade deal and inflation and tariffs and this and that. Like, no, this will be a problem because interest rates have been kind of the other most important thing to focus on. It's just because right now the trade deal was so much bigger between us and China and just other countries too, not just China, but China especially. And I think a lot of people too, me especially, thought it would take a lot longer for an initial deal to happen. So kind of surprised on that, but there is a huge narrative that is outside of that that isn't even connected to the trade deal. So make sure you guys are definitely just paying attention to the vibe of the news and data coming out this week. Like me and Eric will be sharing each day of the week in the chats. You can check it on your own as well. financialjuice.com/home. You can even change the little filters so it's not every little piece of news hitting your screen. And you don't even need to really understand the news. You just need to understand that bad data equals we're not going to get our interest rate cuts, right? Because we need decent data, or at least, I say at least decent, but it needs to be good, to be honest, for the Fed to be like, yeah, okay, that supports us cutting interest rates. So that's really what we're looking for. You just want to see good data come out. You don't even really need to understand it. Dog smell that tasty chicken. Yeah, that's why she was freaking out. Now, my dog's actually pretty good about that. This is the first dog I think I've ever owned that doesn't really beg for food. I don't even really know why. At least she's not trained or anything. But yeah, she's like, she'll literally leave the kitchen when like food arrives or we're making food. Like she'll go find like the dark, quiet part of the house. What are we eating? Man, you know. Spicy chicken Sammy. I'm not gonna eat it yet. I'll get it here after the stream. But yeah, so does that help anybody with the like this week's kind of narrative and just what to look out for news wise? It's not just Trump. There's also other shit happening this week. So I want you to kind of be alert. But I think this week will be a great week to have less trades. Try to have the most quality trades you can have this week. So have less of them, but have just again the most highest quality of trade you've ever had in your life. If you're trading at all. I wouldn't be looking at these charts and going, all right, let's try to bang out 2-3 trades. What's up, though? What's everyone else going to have for lunch today? Y'all heard I'm having Chick-fil-A. What's everyone else having? But does anybody have any questions or any comments to make on top of that? Again, we've covered SPY, triple QIWM pretty in depth. A couple other individual weights. We went over long-term picks in case the market does just keep flying. And this is why I covered this the week before last week. It's because I wanted to go over stock picks. I saw a few of you interested in all of your stock picks and stuff, and that's awesome. It got me motivated to want to post my own the past 2 weeks. So I'm glad we got to do that before it became a little bit more obvious. Because if you look at the chart now, everyone's wanting to buy. But nobody was wanting to buy in between this area. Nobody was wanting to buy as we were getting up into here. And it wasn't about buying SPY necessarily, even though it's not that stupid of an option. It's just finding your own charts, finding your own market, finding your own stock picks, and then sticking with it, you know, and waiting for them to give you those good discounts. We had tons of them over the past couple weeks, and I was definitely very clear on do not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not buy. Why do I keep like jumping with an accent? Do not buy with everything you have, right? If anything, just put a little bit here, put a little bit there. Keep most of yours. Wait to see what happens next. We don't know if the market's going to continue up. And dollar cost averaging, I cannot express how many times I said DCA and dollar cost averaging, because outside of like options trading, you guys really should be more focused on your long-term investing. Options trading really should just be like a side project. And you shouldn't feel stupid or poor or like you're out of the loop or you're not part of the group or anything. Like, it doesn't matter if you own 5 shares of something. It doesn't matter if you own 1 share of something. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 shares of, like, we don't care. We love you. It's not about how much you own of what company. It's find what you believe in, find what you like, and slowly sprinkle into it over time. Nice move on that recent move back up, though, on SPY. I'm not really here for updates, though, honestly. I'm just really glad to at least kind of inform, go over what's happening in the market, what might be happening next, talk about just a couple things, go over a couple levels. So I'm glad we got to already do that here in these first 50 minutes of this stream. But if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Can I go over hood, please? Yes, sir. What's up, Kevo? How you doing? Just doing a quick stream, boss. How's your day? By the way, Ian Blackwell, I think that's your name. Sorry if I said that wrong. I actually like Robinhood. I like Webull a lot more, I'll be honest with you. But I actually do like Robinhood as a like longer term investment. But it's kind of, I don't know if I'd be buying it right here. But TA wise, you're kind of dealing with a couple things. Let me just delete this level. I don't even know. I'm almost positive that's from the weekly or monthly, and I'm marking the shoulder. But right here, here's the recent high. If I go to the latest open, which I'm actually gonna cheat and just use this one, but it is definitely this level that you should be focused on. Close to open. Sorry, I'm brain farting trying to get this level here. 59. Whoops. I'm just going from this day's close to this day's open. It's the gap up and just getting the halfway point. Maybe not as important, but I just wanted to see where was it. and then another fib. I want to go from this high to the latest low before they finally slow down to any extent. So it's really not that crazy, but I want to go from this low to this high. And then I want to see, where's that 50%? 55, 47. Ooh, nice. We don't even have to edit it. Let's go. And it looks like of this recent move up, again, you can see here, and I'm not really going to mark a level for this, but you can see over this recent high, they actually just did a really good job hitting a target. That's a good just halfway gap right there. So you might see them slow down against that and then maybe settle. But I kind of similar to what I was saying on SPY, Ian. I was saying we're kind of in a spot too where we're looking to see, like, are we going to settle over this and continue to see buyers? Or are we going to just break out and continue higher? Are we going to break this and lose our feet? It's kind of the same situation on Hood, just different numbers, different levels, different candlesticks, different positioning. But theirs would be like above these highs here, and then whatever this halfway point is of this. So if they pass 59, you have a clear target above from the old gap. As well as the all-time, or not all-time high. That's not the all-time high, is it? No, it's not. I was about to say. This high's supply. Sorry. I knew that was an all-time high. I was like, man, I could have swore it went a lot better than that. But yeah, not a bad chart, honestly. Very strong bullish presence. Not just before the breakout, but even during the breakout. Because that's another thing, too. I want you guys to get better at that. Don't just look at, oh, well, this is the move. Well, yeah, no shit. Go over what happened right before the move. I want to start seeing more of you break that down, too. Lunchtime for you? What's for lunch today, Kevo? You sprinkled in crypto, stake some? Nice. It's how much you understand that company and FATA and PA. Yeah, it's a lot of mixture. That's why I always say try to find a couple simple points you like. Like, if you guys have ever seen my strategies over the years of like how the few things that I look at, like I look at like for PayPal, I always like to use PayPal as an example. When we called out PayPal at like 50s, 60s, it was genuinely just because it was so cheap. It had nothing to do with PayPal. It was like, okay, what is PayPal? The largest payment processing company in the entire world. Oh, okay. So that's a good enough reason for me then. But what's their market share of that? Oh, it's like 50 something percent. Oh, okay. Fuck. All right. Well, we're taking that. That's a pretty obvious one. Not all of them are that obvious though. Like, that's why I really glorify your UPS pick, because I think UPS is going to go under 99% of people's radars. But I think UPS is a genius stock pick because of that exact reason. Is it going to recover over time? Yeah, most likely. Is it a Tesla? No. So it's not going to be super attractive to everybody looking around the market for different opportunities. Everyone's looking for the next Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, but they're going to be missing out on the next Reddit, the next Webull, the next UPS, the next, you know. People always brag about Palantir too. Like, that was another stock pick from our chat. I don't like to sit here and brag because it just sounds really egotistical, but that was another one that was just like, why is nobody buying this? Like, what is going... Like, if I saw Boeing, if any one of us saw Boeing or Apple or Microsoft or Nvidia, if we saw any of these companies go down to like $10 a share, would you buy? Or would you just sit there and wait? I would like to think a lot of people in my chat would at least throw some money on it because they're like, how is this price? Like, what happened? I think a lot of us would instantly be like, what was the news? Because it's like, what's going on here? It's the same thing with these companies. It's because they're not attractive to everybody. You know, not everybody really gives a shit or pays attention to UPS. Same thing with, what's another boring company? Like Target or Nike even, you know. But like Hood, I would say Hood is a very popular company. Almost everyone who trades or invests knows what Robinhood is. and is somewhat aware of it because of its, you know, volatile movement. It has really good movement recently too. But I think if you just find your reasoning, like you said there, Mike, and then stick to it, over time, not only will your trust process get better, where you trust your picks and your trades more and the process in between everything, because it's so easy to say buy, sell, but nobody talks about the in-between, you know, conversation with yourself when you're sitting there holding a position that's up or down. It's very hard to kind of keep yourself in or out of a good or bad trade, depending on what situation you're in. I bought Google when it was 12% down. That's a good one, though. Oh, from the Apple News. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna hold up that well either, because it's like, okay, so what? Apple's getting rid of it. Like, it's still fucking Google. Who doesn't use Google? Plus, and I want to make this like very clear. How many of us even use like Safari and Google and all that stuff when you're on your phone? Like, you really don't use that stuff that much. You're already on something that's kind of showing you stuff. So I don't know. I don't think that one's gonna hold up that well. I think Google's gonna do just fine without Apple. I don't know anybody who's like, yeah, bro, yo, load up Firefox. What? People load up Firefox to stream illegal stuff, not to use it over anything because they prefer it. It's kind of crazy to think if we do end up holding this and continuing on, there's a good chance we're already back under 600 again. Right back at 600. That's crazy to say out loud because we were just saying under 500 not even that long ago. Wild to think about. YouTube all day. Hell yeah, Mike. YouTube is the place to go. I'm always surprised when I meet someone who doesn't really watch it or whatever. I'm like, wow, really? I mean, I don't like, you don't judge them or anything. It's just like, damn. I love YouTube. I use Google. It's too easy. I literally just watched a video yesterday where it was just like these streamers, and one of them was searching Google up on Google. Like, bro, only Google could have you doing that. Well, and some drugs probably. 582.59 is 5% down from all-time high. Yeah, that's nuts to think out loud. That's actually nuts. To think we were in the 480s, 490s, 500. Now we're back just under all-time highs. I'm just really glad we got to go over some very important topics in the right moments. Like, we could sit here and go over, buying dips and stuff, but like actually talking about it when it matters is what's more important. That's why I like to do these different streams and stuff. But like, past few weeks, that's all we talked about. You should either be scalping or DCA buying. That's it. And right now, on most stock picks, you'd be doing great. It just depends what you picked. Again, I'm not in control of that. I'm only going over what I can go over. Still getting some buyers on SPY, by the way. I know I said I wasn't going to do many SPY updates, but I can't help myself when we're just going straight up on this chart. An awesome job by Nikki, by the way. Kid83 in the post charts channel. She already did what a lot of us were talking about the past couple weeks, posting your own picks, posting your own charts on different bigger tickers you might be looking at. Even if it's just for a quick break or hold or something, it doesn't matter. And just a reminder, I have to keep repeating this out loud because there are some people who just don't know it's there, but there is a new playlist for any of the like actual members of the group, so make sure you look around and know where that is. It's definitely beneficial. DCA is the way, trading is for fun. Took me 3 years to learn that. It really is. Like, options is like a tool. That is what it is, though. Options are a tool of investors. That's all it is. Options should never be your, let me do this 100% of the time, 100% of your account should not be options trading. Hey, thank you, Lag. He said the playlist is a must. It changed his win rate. Glad to hear that, honestly. Especially from someone like Lag, someone we see in here literally almost every time I stream. Anytime we're in the trade floor, that man is there. So we love seeing it from the active people as well. Weebull holding here is a good buy in my opinion. Yeah, no, Weebull is an insane buy down here. If you haven't heard me say Weebull or any of the 50 other people in chat say Weebull by now, you guys are lost. Kevo's been on top of it. I was on it pretty early. There were a few other people that were already kind of mentioning it too. I love the amount of us that kind of brought it up within the same couple of weeks because it's just good reinforcement that that it is enticing, that it is attractive. It's making you salivate a little. Yeah, Nard. It takes so long. You know, it feels like years and years are going by when in reality it's just weeks and months. You know, and I think that's why it affects so many people, me included. I mean, it's not like I'm special. There's so many times I've had a good investment and I just got rid of it because I was bored. And then a year will go by and somebody will be like, "Yo, man, thanks for mentioning that stock to me." I'm like, "Ha ha ha, yeah." And then I'm looking back at it like in my shares. I'm like, "Oh, look at these that I don't own anymore." Like it's just stuff like that, you know. It's like you want to believe in yourself, your investments, not your process. It's really hard to do that though. If you just let's say you have $10,000, it's really hard to do that if you just drop all 10K at that current price right there, you know. But if you sprinkle it along, save some for what if things get worse, or if you find another stock that you end up getting really really happy about, you like a lot of things about it, you're gonna miss out on all that, you know. So I think DCA is very important. The Orange Swan event. The Orange Swan event. That's actually so good. Started watching new BB Theory. Great stuff. Thank you, Gary. I'm so happy to hear that, man. I'm so hyped when I keep seeing you guys mention that you've watched it, or you are watching it, or you're in the middle of it, or you're about to start it. It's a private playlist. I do not care about the views. I'm just so happy when literally anybody in chat is clicking on that, reviewing it, checking it out, because I really do believe it will impact your trading. It will, in a positive way, hopefully. Lag already kind of said it too. You know, it helped him with his win rate, and I think with other people too, it already has as well. It's just you just got to go through it, because I think you'll start to understand my strategy is a lot different than what you originally think it is when you're looking at it. You're like, oh, he's just a pre-market high, pre-market low guy. He doesn't know anything. I mean, I don't know anything, but I know about my system that it's not just levels. Like it really is like a context thing. I'm just really like stupid, so it's really hard to like put it into words and explain it. But you guys know what I mean, you know. And I think that's why I say PEMDAS. You know, when you're doing a mathematical equation. If I was to give all of us a math equation and say do this, and we all did it 100 different ways, we're going to get 100 different answers, and there's still a chance all of us are wrong. There's a chance that not even one of us got it right. But that's why I like PEMDAS. PEMDAS allows you to do the mathematical equation in the correct order, so you do arrive at the right answer, not just at some random, bullshit answer. But that's exactly what this system is like. The system is very similar to that in so many ways. It's not just marking your levels. It's not just knowing, oh, that candlestick's bullish. Oh, that candlestick's bearish. It's also knowing what direction of value each level provides, what context it provides from recent. Is there anything from recent that can help? You know, there's so much more going into it. And you'll see there is a correct way to arrive at the right side of trend every single day. Right? And you'll start to feel that you have a good grip on the market. You'll have a fun guessing game in your head almost every day. I do it. A lot of guys in the chat do it. A lot of the traders in chat do it. You just kind of look at the chart and you're like, all right, this is what I think today should do. But let's just kind of let's just react to actually what happens, you know, and not sit here and try to make up what's going to happen. But you'll start to feel yourself doing that more for fun. And it's just because, yes, you are right. You are getting a good grip on what the patterns of the chart are, when this happens, this is what most likely follows. You'll start to pick up on the tendencies. Like, it's not that crazy to think that you can't pick up on the behavior of the market. It's like psychology, you know, when someone's studying you or studying something or someone, they're going to end up picking up on what are their tendencies, what do they do, what do they do in this, what are they like, what do they not like. It's the same thing with the market. When it does this, it likes to do that. When it does that, it likes to do this. It's conditional, so you need to be conditional. And it's funny because we break all that down, and after learning from not just someone with hands-on experience, but learning just from, you know, just studying, that's how algorithms work. Algorithms and AI, and or not AI, just computer trading is done the exact same way. The only difference is it doesn't have that human touch of, oh, this is what it did yesterday, I'm expecting it to do this. It won't. It will never have that I mean, maybe it will in the future, but it will never have that forward mindset of this is what it should do next. You know, maybe it can through like statistics of like, oh, every time it does this, it does that. But that's such a deeper dive. You and me can't contain all that in our heads. But it's good that you pick up on tendencies in the market. You pick up on, you know, oh, when we have such a big gap up day, what are key levels I should be marking? Same thing with gap down days. Same thing with what happens if we don't gap at all. You know, what are my key levels? You should be able to break that down within minutes. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed that new playlist. I put a lot of time and effort into it, as I explained in the course server for all my lifetime owners and my course owners. If anybody's interested in that, by the way, I've had a lot of people confused on where the hell to get that. If you are interested in buying the course, just hit me up. Just message me. I'm not charging an arm and a leg, and I'm giving people extra stuff all the time just because I just like hooking everybody up in the group. But that new playlist is part of that. I hope you guys check it out, and that's exactly what I'm bragging about right now. Finna buy some Weeble. I only have a bit in NVIDIA my long term. Oh, iBit. That's not a bad one. Hold up, Faith. And BB never let me down. Thanks, bro. No problem, man. Thank you. And thank you for your messages and stuff. I always appreciate that. I've been here quite a while. The new playlist, what I've watched so far, has helped me clear up the system. Oh, it's helped clear it up a little bit of the system for you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, and I think, and and I've always stated this. It's not like this is some hidden fucking thing, but like I've always stated that's probably my fault that like a lot of people in chat have like gotten this like not as clear view of the system as they could. But again, I think it's just the way my brain works. Like I see like step 1, get the levels, understand that. Step 2, the extra stuff, you know, that's like sometimes you have a gap up halfway point, sometimes the previous day halfway point, some days it's the pre-market high, like kind of pointing out what's the more priority of a level to focus on. That took a while. Back testing, of course, and then everything else, like the thinking behind it, has always been there. It's all across my streams, and I've had so many people, and I explained that in the place as well. I've had so many people complain to me in a positive way that, hey, sorry, man, I'm at work or my family or this or that. Like, I can't catch your streams. Could you link me or could you show me where in the stream? And it's hard for me to pinpoint every single stream because some streams are like 6-7 hours long, 5 hours long, 4 hours long. It's long. It's hard for me to pinpoint exactly where in that stream I'm always going over something. Like sometimes I've done every bit of talking before 10 o'clock and then everything else is just me goofing off, you know? So it's hard for me as a streamer to like sit here and be like, yeah, man, just check out this part of the stream because I think that's so lazy of me, you know? I think that's lazy to be like, yeah, dude, just check out this part of the stream that's like 5 hours long. You know, it's like, fuck, I wouldn't click on that either. I don't blame that person for not clicking on it and not wanting to learn more, you know? So that playlist really is for like the deeper understanding of everything. But I really can't make another video. I really couldn't, you know? I really couldn't do another video or anything like that. Like that playlist might be the last of my videos because there's really nothing else to cover. Like I've really covered everything between the ears of this system, the thinking behind literally every single little thing that can happen. Videos, playlists, streams, Discord to provide, you know, back testing. There's just so much behind it. But I'm glad a lot of the veterans in chat are enjoying it because that's really who it's for. You know, I feel bad for like it not making as much sense because you put up all these levels. It's like, well, fuck, why is Bueller looking at emerging candles today? And then the next day, it's like, fuck, why is Bueller looking at just this level? It's like, dude, because every day is different. Every day is different. Like you could leave the levels the same all you want, but like the priority level changes every day. You know, the level that creates that direction for us each and every day. Not just, oh, well, what was the news? You know, any jackass could ask that question. Any jackass could figure that out, but not everybody could figure out what's the most important level each day. And to come up with a consistent way of doing that. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, man. You gotta have Subway Surfers in the corner to get people to focus. How many people in here actually even played Subway Surfers? Because I never played a day of it in my life. I actually am curious because like you always see it as like a meme and it's so popular, but like how many people in here actually played that? Random poll: how many people played Subway Surfers? And no, I won't call you asking to extend your car warranty after this. Thank you, bro. Temple Run was the shit. That's all I played. That was probably the last game like that I played was Temple Run. You played it for 5 days? I guess it's not too bad. That's not a cardinal sin, is it? 5 days on Subway Surfer. I think God will let you through. Mike said never heard of it. That's my boy, Mike. That's my boy, Blue. What is everyone's phone game if you have one? What is your phone game that you go to? I honestly don't have one anymore, but I used to play Boom Beach. I played the shit out of Boom Beach. It's like it's like Clash of Clans, but it's like the sister of Clash of Clans. The not as cool Clash of Clans. I got hold of. I love when y'all send this shit. I don't know what it is because I always end up googling it and then I just get lost. All right, we're looking up this one first. Dokkan Battle. Oh, it's Dragon Ball. Okay, fair enough. Seaport. Cargo boat. Okay, Tycoon. I see you. I could see Tycoon being fun. My favorite game is Trading View. There are red and green sticks I like very much. And there's this funny orange man who moves them. Spider Solitaire. Okay. Mindustry. Oh, I can't spell. My computer's like, why are you looking up all these mobile games? Oh, this looks like Factorio. You would be... Oh, I already know the kind of person Tobias is if that's the game he plays. Tobias could legit be like an engineer, the kind of game he's playing right now. That's literally Factorio on the phone. That's crazy. And like Nard, I spend most of the days watching Red and Green Sticks. I was just asking. We're on one of those days. I wanted to ask. I just went over an hour and plus stuff of focused material, so now it's time to get to know everybody more. Besides your social medias, what phone game is everybody clicking on? Fair enough, though. How was everyone's weekend, by the way? I didn't even ask how y'all's weekend was. How freaking rude of me. How was everyone's weekend? Mine, pretty vanilla, I would say. Pretty defaulty. Nothing special. What did I even eat this weekend? Anything cool? I bought a bag of Takis at one point. That was cool. I was waiting for Robin Hood. Nard. I'm like your personal trading Google. Started getting my 3 mile run back down to the 25-minute mark. Damn, lag. I feel like 25 minutes for 3 miles is pretty freaking good, right? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm so American I don't know what fitness even means anymore. Sushi for son's 18th birthday plus... Damn. Oh, yeah, it was Mother's Day. I forgot. That did happen this weekend. I did tell my mom I love her the other day. Sushi for son's 18th birthday. Damn, so you had your son's birthday and Mother's Day. That's wild. You had a 21-minute average before lifting? So 25 is still considered, like, really good. You're just talking about, like, your own goals. But 25 is still really, really good, though. A twofer. I actually had that run through my head when I read that sentence. Like, oh, nice, a twofer. A 2-for-1. I've had many friends, actually, because my birthday's in, like, November. But I've had so many friends who their birthdays are, like, late December. Like, late December. Even early December. It's like, dude, I would be so pissed if my parents freaking gave me my birthday gift and then in the same present, like, oh, that's also your Christmas. Like, what? I was never a kid, though. I also like to add, I was never a kid that was asking for, like, expensive gifts. Like, I expected a gift, but I wasn't expecting, like, an iPhone, you know? Like, an RC car, that'd be cool with me. See if it lasts a month. Yo, be honest. How many people have gone under the Christmas tree and, like, unwrapped the gift to see what it was? I did that one year. Because I could have swore it was an iPod, and it was. It was, like, one of the first year, like, the cooler iPods came out. Before the touchscreen iPods. This was, like 100 years ago. I got the left sock for Christmas and the right for my birthday. Ooh, there you go. See, that's something, though. I bet you felt really good after getting that second sock. That's the worst. I always thought of that. I had a friend who's December 26th. Fuck. That is tough. Like, I don't even know if I feel bad for him, though. Like, I mean, I do, but, like, damn, dude. The parents really did kind of screw the pooch on that one. Being an adult, I would love... Yeah, honestly, I get like, socks and stuff now, and I'm like, damn, this is actually, like, clutch. I'm not going out to buy socks, so thank you. That kind of thing. What's it called? Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was trying to figure out what I was wanting to do. What is the average 3-mile run time? 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, never mind. Beginners may take closer to 30 to 35 minutes, while experienced runners typically fall into the 25-30 minute range. Elite athletes can run 3 miles in under 13 minutes. That is just fucking insane. I didn't realize there was so many levels of runner. Beginner, experienced, casual, elite athlete, good junior runner, good high school runner. There is a whole tier system that I did not know about. Your peak was 18 minutes? Do you realize how fast that is? Dude, you must have been zooming. 18 minutes is fast, dude. Bro, my heart would give out if I did that quick. That's crazy. So you started lifting and that made you slower? Sounds like you're just not trying hard enough. You were training for the Marines, their 100% was... Huh? Bro, that's the kind of Marine that could actually like step off a mine and like run away from it, and I don't think it would touch him. That's fast. 1738. 1738. Two trading base phone games. I like how you put that. Are Forex Hero and Stock Market Sidekick. They have decent. Wait, these are real things. Damn, since Snake. Dude, Snake IO is so OG, though. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's when Marines were Marines. Damn, that is wild. Hold up, Mike. I gotta screenshot your message. I gotta check these out later. I found a game that was inside of a game that had a stock market game in it, and I was so happy. It even like tracks how much you're up and down, and it moves and stuff. I didn't realize he made a meme about what you said, Mike. Orange Swan event. That's actually, see, that's I'm fine with that stuff. It's funny, like it's fine. I just don't want to see people sitting there fucking continuously complaining about shit. That's fine though. I like making fun of stuff. I mean, we made fun of Biden. We made fun of fucking Obama. We made fun of Trump first term. We're gonna make fun of Trump second term. Like it's just fun, making fun. What's the like? Don't be too invested in these opinions. We're not even really. I mean, we're like rage baiting ourselves, if anything. By the way, guys, Spy is up over 3% here. It is a little crazy looking at that number. I look at the top of my screen. I know you can't see this one. I don't think you can. But just 3.08%. That is a sight to see when we're at 580 a share. 581. Dude, that's so fucking awesome. I always get some of the coolest messages from you guys at the most random part of the day. I won't say who, but someone just said, "No problem. Again, man, you changed my life a lot. Probably one of the youngest in the Discord, but I've been trading for 4 years now. You helped me make passive income, blah, 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 blah." Another question after that, but That's just so cool. Don't complain. Take advantage of the price action created. There will always be new data for the market to adjust to, as well as take advantage of the memes. Take advantage of the memes. Let's have a good laugh. You only live once. These politicians we always like to pretend to defend, they don't give a rat's ass about us. So let's have some fun with it. If they're going to mess up my stock market, I'm going to have some damn memes with it. That's it. If Nancy Pelosi's going to insider trade Nvidia, I want memes. BitLife has a stock market part to it also. Hold up, bro. I'm screenshotting this shit too. I'll have to look at these. No, thanks for mentioning those. Mike and Nard. What you mean? We were kiwi birds in our past lives. I kicked you once. Pure entertainment for 4 years. For life, really. It was really funny. Somebody asked me the other day, and again, guys, don't hold any true opinions to this. This is just a funny conversation. I really don't hold any like strong opinions on this. But somebody was like, "Yo, who do you think's next until like the old timers are out?" Basically speaking about the old generation, like Trump, Obama, the Clintons. Like they're kind of all gone now. The Bidens, you know, they're kind of all set and gone. You know, they're going to be behind us in a few years. Who's next? And it's crazy because like some people think of that as like a really bad thing, but it also could be a really good thing. What if we get somebody we've never heard of and he gets lucky like Trump did, and he gets that momentum, and then he gets the presidency, and what if he's actually good at it? What if we got someone that was actually good at being president for once? In all aspects, not just can make good deals with countries, but talks like a sailor. But also on the other end, horrible deals with the whole world, but speaks amazingly. Like, I want a president that has both. I want a dude that can speak to everyone like they're human beings. But on the other end of it, I don't want them to let our country just go down the drain. So you got to have someone with good foreign policy, good speaker. BB 2028? No, I don't want to run. No. I don't think I'd be a good politician. I think I'd be too emotional. I know that's weird to say because it's like all we do in here is trade and stuff, but like I think I would be too emotional. Because like it kind of blows my mind how like I also am confused on how people stay in the political world. Like I know all of you are going to give the obvious answers of like, well, I know how they stay. It's like, yeah, but like think about it for a second. Like genuinely serious. Like AOC, for instance. I don't really consider her to be Democrat or Republican, by the way. She is far left. But how has she stayed around this long? Like, and I think a lot of it comes down to just trending. I think she's just known. It doesn't even come down to actually being liked. She's basically ruined her own city. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying you should like Trump. I'm just saying I don't understand how AOC is also there. There's a few people that are just like, how are you here? Yes! Terry Crews! Oh my god! Mike, you just had the greatest idea ever. President Macho. Camacho. Dwayne Elizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho. Yes, this is who we need as our president. He'll treat everyone as a human, and nobody will step on us. All in one president right here. What is Dwayne Camacho's full name? I forgot that they do say it once. Throws Mountain Dew in there casually. Electrolytes. This fucking movie's awesome. If you've never seen the movie Idiocracy, you need to take time out of your day to watch it. It'll scare you how accurate it is, but it's just really funny. Very stupid too. It's also very stupid. Very big warning there for you. Resurrect Teddy Roosevelt. No, I'm going with Terry Crews now. I can't not have Terry Crews as president now. AOC is European, pretty much. If Terry Crews is president, we would all need a gym membership. If not, you get deported. It's simple, though. You understand the rules, though. Instantly, off the rip, we understand. It's straightforward. Just watch the first 5 minutes. Oh, yeah, where they go through the, like, how we got to that point. Honestly, when that football player says that one line, I could not stop laughing. As a kid watching it for the first time, that shit got me. If you can't bench your weight, you have to pay a certain percentage and, like, you have to pay a fine. That would be Terry Crews' future. All the plants get watered with Gatorade instead of water. Mike, he's like, y'all need to be watering these plants with water. I think that's what they need. He's like, ew, like out of the toilet? Like, what? All right, sorry guys, I went off on my own tangent there, just kind of enjoying myself. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. This was just supposed to be a really kind of small niche stream. I just wanted to make sure we're all good. Lunchtime's looking fine. We're kind of getting into the 1 o'clock part of the day. We're very close, so we're almost in the last phase of the day here in 20 minutes. If you guys have any questions or anything else to add into the stream, please let me know. I'll give you a few more minutes before I actually end it, but just wanted to give that warning. If anybody has anything, let me know. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I hope you enjoyed some of the breakdowns, the conversations, the just logical conversations we had earlier. Again, I'm not trying to like sit here and be like, you guys should know that it should be doing this. You guys should know. I'm not sitting here trying to act like God. I'm not. Like, you're never going to hear that from me. We can go over things together. We can have constructive criticism. But I'm never going to be this after the fact Nancy with anybody. That's just it hurts me from the inside, and it probably hurts you as well. It does neither of us good. So it's good to go over these things, talking about how we can understand things beforehand, setting those conditions for ourselves, coming up with that level that has the most priority each day, going over basic trend each and every day. Very helpful. Again, finding out that context. I don't know if I'm going to stream too heavy tomorrow either, just because the beginning of this week is kind of starting out so volatile that I just don't need to sit here and trade. But I am enjoying a lot of the TA working out, though. A lot of us have done a really good job, not just myself included. I like to sit here and be like, oh, I'm so great. I call out all these stock picks. But there's so many other people in the chat who are doing just as amazing or better. Mike has done a great job posting a few. Keva's done a great job posting a few. Hayes has done a good job posting a few. Leland. A few other people in the chat have been posting stock picks that they like, different level breaks they like. So just engage, honestly. There's a lot of people who, if they are going to take action, you'll see them in the chat. If the chat's dead, guess what? We're probably not trading that heavy today. So I was honestly really happy to open up my Discord today, and I saw there was not that many messages. I was like, let's go. Everybody understands the vibe. I like it. This unspoken communication we have is honestly on another level. 1,000 Miles is the new anthem. Thousands Miles would be played every day. It'd be the anthem for sure. Every day in every school, every kid has to hear it. Every day. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the level breakdowns as well. We made sure to also go back and rechart a couple of the bigger charts, a couple of the big boys, because I know it can be easy to lose sight on what we're supposed to focus on whenever we move up a bunch or we move down a bunch. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the small but very awesome stream. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys for joining too. You guys are honestly a big reason it was awesome. Appreciate all the cool conversations, questions, and stuff. And yeah, so still kind of crazy. We got almost 100 people to click on today's stream. Not really announced, not really warranted on a day that not really a lot of people are going to trade. So still, thank you guys again. I can't really do anything but just be blessed. Seriously, thank you. But have a great rest of your day. If you guys have anything else, let me know in the Discord. End of day, check the polls message so we can all vote on that. And I'll see you later on. Have a great rest of your day.